People from the Wirehaired Pointing Griffon Club of America who made the Czechoslovakian portion of the trip include Joanne and Dick Austin, Helen and Warren Webster, Joe and Clara Notaker, Barbara and Bill Jensen, and myself. Joining us in Germany were Silke Alberts, Joan Bailey, my wife Kathleen, Joe and Wanda Cosmetto, and Sally and Harold Baskin. The first portion of this tape will be the Czechoslovakian field test, followed by the field test in Germany. The first scenes that we will see are the opening remarks by Peter Dvorak at the beginning of the Czechoslovakian test, known as the Karl Pulaski 50 Memorial, held in Little Mysl, Czechoslovakia.
Se podstatnou měrou podílel na založení Československé myslivecké jednoty pomenutelný kinologický zážitek. Zahajují 50. jubilejní memoriál Karla Podhajského provoláním myslivosti a kinologii zdar.
Letošní jubilejní parade byl zahájen 16. ročník v roce 1955 a 32. ročník v roce 1971. Občané i orgány našeho města a příznivci myslivosti z okolí s posměvkem kvitují to, že mají možnost být přítomní této ojedinělé a nevšední myslivecké události. Pro jejich zdar a všestranné použití při práci spojené s výkonem práva myslivosti. Všechny vás každý z vás odnese mnoho překrásných zážitků z oblasti myslivosti a rovněž dobré vzpomínky na náš císařský okres. Jednotlivým vůdcům přeji mnoho úspěchů v soutěži a celé akci zdar.
Abych vás všechny pozdravil jménem Federálního sboru mysliveckých svazů ČSSR na této jubilejní akci. Zvláště mi dovolte, abych mezi námi přivítal zahraniční hosty. Především mi dovolte, abych přivítal mezi námi vzácné hosty z Holandska, a Vito Jubileum Veranstaltung. I am pleased to be able to meet you and your wife at the first anniversary of the memorial of Karl Podhajský. Dear American friends, we are delighted to have you with us taking part in the celebration of anniversary of our largest competition of pointers. I would like to wish you a pleasant stay in Czechoslovakia, and I hope our dogs will keep good performances and that you will be able to return home with good impressions as far as our hunting and game keeping is concerned. We hope that you will get to know a little about our lives and that you meet will contribute to the understanding of the people of our planet. Soudruzi rozhodčí, prosím vás a žádám vás jménem organizátorů, jménem Federálního sboru, abyste na této soutěži posuzovali všem vůdcům, aby předvedli své svěřence ve vrcholném výkonu. Rozhodčím přeji klidné, dobré, spravedlivé, avšak vysoce přísné posuzování. Vám všem příjemnou zábavu, příjemné zážitky města Litomyšle a trvalé spolupráce.
now see the water work for this field test. This is a very special test in Czechoslovakia. The 16 highest scoring dogs of the country are selected and invited to appear at this test and compete. Breeds of dogs represented here include an Irish setter, an English pointer, a Spanish pointer, several German short-hair pointers, and several Czech Cossacks. Oh, and a poodle pointer was present too. Some of the Czech Cossacks have liver color and look very similar to the poodle pointer, but all the dogs that you will see at this waterworks session that were wire-coded were Cossacks. The first test is a blind search of the reeds without a duck. That test is followed by a blind retrieve of the same reeds when a duck had been tossed into for a retrieve. Next, there is some open water work, and one is a search of the open water without a duck or anything. The dog is just sent out to search the open water until he was instructed by the judges to be called back. Then a deep water retrieve. After that point, the dogs return to the reedy portion of the lake where a live duck is released for the search of the live duck. As you'll notice, at the beginning and end of the testing for each individual dog, the handler presents himself to the judges, removes his hat, and the judges do likewise. In Czechoslovakia, it was a very formalistic test. This protocol was followed throughout both days of the testing and at all events.
We're at the waterworks for the 13 utility dogs, and Joe is going up to find out whether or not this is the search with or without the duck. So this is the waterwork portion of the first of the events that we're doing. We're really lucky. Earlier this morning it was raining quite heavily and quite windy. It's still a little windy, but there's blue skies above. And it's much like a Griffon test. Everyone is a little apprehensive. Quiet. A lot of festivities last night and tonight, but everyone today is ready for business. You probably saw before the festivities and the opening ceremonies, Barb Jensen was just commenting that there's a great deal of ceremonies involved with this particular test, and we were told later that this is true of West Europe and Eastern Bloc countries, where there's a lot of ceremony prior to the test. So that's kind of what we're waiting for right now, is to determine what is happening up there. Joe is checking that out. So we'll check back in a little while later and see what's happening.
They call it in Europe the Dutch point. Not Dutch set. They are now very fast. In Germany they have little longer. Pri posudzovaní vodných disciplín. Organizácie pri týchto postupoch, v tomto posudzovaní asi takto postupovali by sme podľa skúšobného poriadku. To znamená v tom slede, ako ide skúšobný poriadok za sebou. Začali by sme od toho štartovného čísla 5. Od vodičov by som vyžadoval, aby sa nám na prvej disciplíne zahlásili s tým, teda, že sú pripravení absolvovať vodné disciplíny. Na ostatných disciplínach by sme toto už potom nepotrebovali, pretože to budeme poznať. Ostatných si by som žiadal, aby boli vyviazaní, hlavne keď sa bude robiť sliedenie za kačicou, prinášanie kačice, kde teda tá nervozita tých špicov sa preniesie, aby nám tam neušli.
Head off, he's reporting and asking permission to start the test. He's saying his name and
To start the entire test, or does each person
this character.
All three will be up there too?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Very likely not.
I got the impression one would be up
Well,
there.
you only need one.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. So he can say,
There is the. Well, there's nobody.
Or you heard the senior judge giving instructions to the others. And I did get it on tape. It's not off and ask permission to do stuff. Well, it's remarkable. It strikes me as very interesting as the reverence that this is all. Very serious business. Great deal of respect given to the Congress.
Second category of this test with a retreat.
He didn't pretend that his hand, the hand that made one step.
So that would be a.
I didn't see it was behind the judge. That's a no-no.
So he places it out there somewhere. Oh. Looks like he's. Oh, okay.
Big red dot.
The dog presently doing the duck search is an Irish setter. Just returned with the duck.
The dog is just returned.
duck in deep water. You see which dog it is? Short hair. Dog, you have to catch the duck.
20 minutes.
From the water test, we went to do the field work. The field area was a nice, large expanse of farmland from a sloping hill from which the top ridge spectators could watch the dogs work. The first test involved 3 dogs working simultaneously for their handlers. The judges were looking to see if the dogs would work for their individual handler without interfering with the other dogs. During this particular test, you'll see one dog point a hare, the handler shoot the hare, and the dog make the retrieve. After the dogs to make the retrieve. Once this portion of the field test was completed, each dog was put down individually to work the field. You will see several which appear to be false points. However, what was really happening is the dogs were pointing pheasants, and pheasants which were young pheasants, which were flightless at this time. So the dogs would point, the birds would move, and the dogs would point again. There was only a few birds which were able to be flushed and would actually hold for the dogs. Also, the small animal which appears to be a miniature deer is a roebuck. We flushed several roebucks during this test. There is one portion of the film, appears to be like a treehouse on stilts, and that is the deer stands from which they hunt the roebuck.
Was there a liver? The liver short here from the
Blackers?
no.
Here. 3 dogs working at the same time. Snow does not interfere with the other dogs. All birds know. This one is the Fusek. The other 2 are German Shorthairs.
Saturday evening, we all gathered for a party at a hall, which had a band, polka band, as you'll see from the music playing. A nice dinner was served. You could have red deer or boar. One of the interesting things at this party is that they held a lottery and sold lottery tickets, and it wasn't so unusual to have a lottery at some such of event, but what was interesting to note, as you will see, is the prizes that were given. The prizes consisted of, one prize was a 60 eggs, another prize was, I think, 30 eggs. Bottles of liquor were prizes. The game used in the test during that day were prizes. One prize was a third of a roebuck, and the grand prize of all was a live pig.
The first day of the testing is over. We're preparing to unload buses to attend the Saturday night dinner.
We got Brad in the background too. That's all right.
Brad's taking your picture.
You see? Oh, we're ready to go. Are we rolling? We're rolling now.
already.
Okay, I'll tell you where we are. First of all, we're in the main street of Little Missile. Little Missile, very easy to remember and to pronounce. But we are waiting for our bus to take us to the gathering tonight for the awards and presentations for the events that occurred today. But as you can see, we have our American friends with us. We have our Dutch friends with us over here, Peter and Micah, and we have our Czech friends with us, Peter and Helena. I would give you their history, but it would take a little bit too long. But we've had a delightful day today. And we're really sorry that those folks back in the United States that have anything to do with Griffons or with Persian hunting dogs in general cannot be here. Ideal spot for anyone who likes to hunt. The people have been very nice to us, although we've had a little difficulty with the language. We haven't figured out how to say hello and goodbye and thank you, but we shall given enough time. But as you can see, delightful main street with old buildings. These buildings must be 150 years old or so. But we did find one building which was named after Walter Slezak, the great, hold on, over here. Hotel Slezak, over here. Right here, Walter Slezak, very famous Czech who escaped in 1948 along with Joe Notacre. Notacre is probably a little more famous than Slezak, but what the heck. We do have a hotel named after him. Now, I'm sure that all of you people have been wondering who is taking these photographs. So we're going to make a quick switch so I can show you the man behind the camera. Is it still running?
Still running.
Still running. Okay, this is, yes, this is our man from Alaska. When we say that he is from Alaska, they think he's either a polar bear or an Eskimo. But this is Brad Mayan, Esquire. We call him Esquire because we're going to have a few lawsuits, I think, later. And we're counting on Brad to get our money back. But Brad's been doing a wonderful job for us, so I'll turn this back over to Brad. Anyone here have any comments for the folks back home? Oh, you got this. Folks back home. Warren Webster. Warren, in January of 1989, will be the vice president of the Wirehaired Pointing Griffon Club of America. We have his mentor, Mr. Notacre here, and his lovely wife, Clara. And the wife of the vice president. You're going to be very, very famous. Did you realize that? And I don't know who this.
First lady.
First lady of Griffon.
And Marvin Bill Jensen, of course, from Minnesota. Yeah, oh, absolutely. You do count. You do count.
Did you tell them that we're staying in the Jack Dallimore Hotel?
And oh yes, another famous person.
You have to say
I forgot to mention the fact that we.
Dallimore Hotel.
The Jack Dallimore Hotel. There's one after Walter Slezak, and there's also an even larger hotel that's named after Jack Dallimore. We spelled the name wrong, but we're going to change it for Jack Dallimore.
He knows it's okay.
Jack Dallimore. That's right. Exactly. So does anyone else have any comments? And otherwise we will take a commercial break.
Yes, take a commercial.
I can only talk when it's on. Is it on? It's on. Okay. Mr. Notacre has just given us some tickets, and he has told me that this is the winning ticket. I'm not sure what I'm going to win.
Build a dog on it.
But as you can see, we're here at...
We're going to win the pig.
The pig.
We're going to win the pig.
As you can see, we're here at this is Saturday night.
It's a wire-haired pointing pig.
They'll point anything, I understand. But anyway, as I was saying before, we're here sitting at... I'll report back later. The Papa. Horseshoes and hand grenades, you know.
Yeah, we're dead. You're close. You're close. That's good news.
On the second day of testing, the dogs which we had watched the previous day do their water work and field work were taken to the woods for their woodwork. The first test of the woodwork was the retrieve of the fox over a barricade. Second was the test for a long sit-stay in the woods where the handler would heel the dog into the woods, put the dog on a sit-stay, leave the dog, walk with a judge off into the woods out of sight of the dog, wait approximately 5 minutes, fire a shot, and then return to the dog. The dog was not supposed to move during this whole event. Next, there were several dogs that did their blood tracking work and did indeed locate and find the deer. The next test was a kind of a blind search of the woods where the dog was sent by the handler to search out the woods, but there was no game present there for the dog to retrieve. That was followed by a second search where an animal had been left for the dog to make a retrieve. Then the dog had to do a fur track, which a hare or a fox was used to drag through the woods and the dog to make a retrieve. These tests completed the woods work, and on this particular day, completed the work for the dogs that we had been watching.
Party. Can you bring up the date on some of the things last night? They had a lottery, which the main prizes were dozens of eggs, bag of potatoes, bag of wheat, half a deer, and the grand prize, a live pig. We gathered to begin the second day of testing in the town square at Little Missile.
be an Italian pointer.
Italian pointer? I don't know.
I've only seen them in books. Yeah.
Can you see good enough there, Brad? Get the horns. The horns are going to start.
Vážení přátelé, vážení zahraniční hosté, zahraniční nastoupí číslo losu 1, ostatní vůdci nám budou za korunu. Tak číslo losu 1. Byl ohodnocen známkou 3. Vážený vedoucí, vážená korono, číslo 4, bez český fousek, Argo od Říčkova, vedoucí Štefan Presnenský, byl hodnocen jeden s otcovským zborem jednomyselne známkou 3.
The dog is on lead and will be leading the handler.
No, Drew said this is a behavior. See, he's walking away. The dog's going to shoot. And the dog's going to stay back.
Can you see her? Yeah. Come over behind this. See, I couldn't see it. I see the dog.
There's the dog is on top.
Thank you.
Wait a second here.
I need a picture
Typical.
of that.
Typical.
Now,
What is that?
Check coffee.
Now, what I'm going to do is read your fortune from the coffee grounds. And Warren, I see a phone call. You're receiving a phone call.
Phone?
For sale. Oops. They just shot the dog.
I don't think the dog moved.
Oh, no. He just finds it.
And the dog finds the deer.
Then they blow the horn.
Search out the dog. No, what does the dog do?
Just sits there. Just sits there. Waits till the hand comes.
Sometimes they will take them.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they take something off
They
and bring it
have a
back.
bin?
This test was similar to a romantic blind where the dog was left in the woods, hands were leaves, and a shot is fired. Now a blood tracking test is maybe right. The dog has found the deer. The sound of the horns you just heard was the indication that the dog had in fact found the deer. There's the sprigs of fur in the mouth of the deer.
naspäť vodičovi, ktorému oznámi, že srnca našiel. Už potom, ako nás viedol k srncovej jeho vec, trošku nás prehnal, po tej húčine vás koronu, aj nás, ale k srncovi nás doril, že úlohu svoju splnil. Za jedinú chybu, ktorú urobil dneska v práci, ako oznámila, čo som tým známkom 3 a 2.
And we're live in, well, here we are, we're in the, this is the BM Network, Sports Network, better known as Brad Mayan Network.
Sports Network.
Sports Network. Yeah. We're still in the forest, and we've just seen a dog make a retrieve, blind retrieve, of a fox that was taken into the woods and thrown. It took exactly 3 minutes for the dog to go out, find it, came back the first time empty-handed, but the second time came back and made a retrieve two-hand, which is required. So the judges are discussing the score right now.
He has a limit of 5 minutes.
He has a limit of 5 minutes,
Right.
so he did it within a time limit.
Vedoucí soudruh Vančura se psem krátkosrstým ohařem Zir od Čumborky nastoupil dohledávce nebo kochotě na dohledávku lišky. Pes došel, asi 10 metrů před liškou se uhnul na pravou stranu, mimo vítr. Po nějaké menší době jsem slyšel znovu vypuštění psa, tudíž musel se vrátit. Přešel do strany levé a dostal se pod vítr, poněvadž ten vítr vane odsud, pouštíme po větru, což není správné, ovšem není východiska. A došel si pro vítr, zlomil se, lišku uchopil, dvakrát si ji porovnal do plné mordy a přišel sem. Odevzdání jste jistě sami viděli. Hodnotíme známkou.
That's the first dog that I've seen catch today.
Hele, kluci, ještě vám jde jedna domů. Chytej máletku toho, ať se uživí.
Zase je opět. Ona by padla, no, a pak by se živila.
Tady vám šla ještě jde domů.
After the dogs that we were watching completed the afternoon woods work, we had a few hours before the closing ceremonies were to be held. We took this opportunity to review the book which recorded the records for the past 50 years of this test. Peter Dvorak loaned this book to us for a few moments so that we could review it, and we had Joe Notaker interpret portions of it and explain to us the types of records that were kept in this book. From there, we went to the closing ceremonies. At the closing ceremonies, awards were made to all the dogs which placed in orders from first on down the line. The first place dog was a German Shorthair Pointer, followed by second and third going to a Czech Fosek. The Fosek and the Shorthair were, well, I guess, neck and neck through both days of the test, but the Shorthair did just slightly better in one phase of the work, and the dog was unofficially declared the winner at the waterwork. This concludes the Czechoslovakian portion of the field test. From here we'll go to Germany and the 100th year celebration of the Wirehaired pointing Griffon in Germany at the field test there, which we will observe the Hatsepe and the Fagepe test, or are equivalents of the intermediate hunting dog and utility test.
Because he is president of
The hair.
With the hair, correct?
Yeah.
Rabbit does not have to lie.
Let me take a picture of that one.
This?
I like that
Yeah.
one. That one is gorgeous. Oh, that is a beautiful illustration. Oh,
Gotta change.
Name was Charles Podhajski. He was born here and he was active very widely in the lands of Czechoslovakia. In kinology, he was propagator of the sport of hunting, and he died here in this town the 12th of September 1930. He was very famous, and because of that there was a very important test started in 1932 that was called Memorial Karla Podhajského. This test is performed every year, and the dog that has got the maximum number of points coming from this test is acknowledged as a best dog of the versatile breeds of the Czechoslovakian Republic. This is the book of the records beginning in the year 1932, where the tests are described and where the dogs are entered that participated in the test, and the dogs, they reached the prizes. Here is a record of the first all-around tests of that were in the days of the 10th and 11th of September 1932 in the vicinity of Brno, that is the capital of Moravia. Here are the officials of the test, and on this side, on next side, is the description of the dogs that took place or participated in the test. It says here that 13 dogs were entered in it. It also describes the climate of that particular day, very warm and dry. It was not suited well for the performance of the dogs. The second day it rained very heavily in the morning. Toward noon it cleared up, and the conditions for dog work were excellent. From the 13 dogs, following dogs received the first prize. The maximum amount of point 287 was a bitch Myra Nicholsburg, which was a German short hair. At the time, the dog was 2 years old. Then there was another bitch, Frigga von Elka, in a first prize. description here is the parents of this dog that had the maximum amount of a point. The next dog with a 284 point, which is 3 less, was Zina from Kishnov, and so it goes. 1C, they were evidently 3 dogs that received the first prize in that test. Then there are dogs with the second prize, 1, 2, 3, and also dogs receiving a third prize, 1, 2, 3, and at the time there also was attached to this test a test of hunting terriers, and it also lists in this book the winner of the test of the rough-haired fox terrier. So it goes every year, and every year is recorded in the same manner. Eventually, the second year was 20 dogs that were announced to participate in this test, and here again are the first prizes. Eventually, it was decreed that 16 dogs, the best dogs from the lands of Czechoslovakia, will participate in. Then eventually the selection of those dogs was put down in a nutshell. The participants are the dogs that did the best on the utility tests or on tests that are considered above the level of utility tests. All the Karel Podhajsky or Karel Podhajsky tests, they took place every year with the exception of 2 years during the war. Today they are still the most prestigious tests in Czechoslovakia, and the dog that received the maximum point of a test is generally considered the best dog for that year. So we witnessed the test in 1987 here. We enjoyed that, and we have with us the president of the Griffon Club in the United States, who is filming that up and who will have a record of our participation in of the test itself.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. At the end of the day, we had a Fusek and a short hair that were doing very well. Did you get a final score on what was happening with those dogs?
No, I don't have the final score. Evidently that short hair, German short hair pointer bitch, because of the flawless performance in the water, got the maximum number of points the unorthodox, even if they would get all fours, the remaining dogs, they would not reach the level of the points in the German Shorthair Pointer, so he was unofficially declared winner at the water. But officially it will happen at 3 or 4 o'clock at the official announcement of the results, and then the official closing of the test.
Was that the dog that we saw in the forest today? Wasn't the same one, was it?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I see.
The dogs we seen in the forest today, they were those dogs we saw yesterday in the field.
Who is the keeper of the book? Was that
is-
Peter?
No, that's a special man who is whose responsibility is to keep the book.
Very much for that. That was most interesting. And we will end it with a closing of the case.
To je hodně malé tady to.
V neposlední řadě musím poděkovat celému organizačnímu výboru v čele s ředitelem tohoto memoriálu Sodruhem Miroslavem Matějkou, který skutečně za celé 2 dny, ale i předtím věnovali této vrcholné akci maximum, to, co věnovat mohli. Vytvořili skutečně takovou atmosféru, která v historii tohoto memoriálu nemá období. Jak bylo vysloveno z úst vrchního rozhodčího i celého jeho sboru, tak skutečně laťku tomuto memoriálu nasadili velmi vysoko. A já bych jim chtěl jménem okresního výboru Českého mysleckého svazu ve Svitavách skutečně upřímně poděkovat. Myslím si, že jejich práce bolí. Vážení přátelé myslivecké kinologie, s pověřením klubu chovatelů českých lovců mi dovolte, abych popřál tomuto vůdci dlouhá léta pevného zdraví a mnoho těchto úspěchů na poli kinologie a předal mu tento krásný broušený pohár.
Welcome to Wolfersdale. We have just completed the opening ceremonies. The first films that you will see are the Hatsei Pei dogs of a judging group of 4. 2 of the dogs are being handled by Maria Zumbaum of her Kimbervolt Kennels. The first shots will be a confirmation examination and judges looking at the gait of the dogs as they're being led away from and to the judges. Next will be field work of the dogs, short segments of field work of approximately 20 minutes apiece. You'll see a roebuck that was flushed that runs towards the camera. After this segment of the field work, the dogs were worked on a feathered game drag of pheasants. After that, the dogs were done on the water work of the release and search of the live duck and the retrieve from deep water. Once that was completed, the more field work continued. The interesting thing about this test is that it began at about 9 o'clock in the morning and completed at about 4:30 in the afternoon, and there was no break for lunch. The field work moved right on into the water work. After the water work, we went to the fields again, and even though that in the afternoon there were only 3 dogs left, as one dog was disqualified in the water work and for failing to make the deep water retrieve and also for failing the drag earlier. But a lot of time was spent on these dogs to give them every opportunity to get points and search and find game. No birds were planted in the field, it was all on wild game.
Weil ich ja am Flug jetzt durch bin, habe ich dann auf einmal mal eine Runde. Ja, mach mal nicht.
Meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, liebe Gäste, liebe Zuschauer, liebe Griffon-Freunde, herzlich willkommen. Leider bei nicht sehr schönem Wetter, es wird aber besser, haben wir beim Enkel gesagt, in Wolferszell zu unserer VGP HZB anlässlich unseres 100-Jahre-Jubiläums. Ich darf besonders begrüßen heute in unserer Reihe den Präsidenten des französischen Griffon-Clubs, Herrn Dr. Rochebeuf. Ich darf herzlich begrüßen Frau Bailey, die Chefin des amerikanischen Griffon-Clubs. Griffon-Freunden aus Amerika hier angereist ist. Ich darf begrüßen die Freunde aus Holland, Herrn Reidig und Herrn Damm. anderen begrüßen noch die Richterobleute aus anderen Vereinen, die sich ganz selbstlos heute zur Verfügung gestellt haben. Richter und Richterobleute. Herzlichen Dank. Meine Damen und Herren, ich will Sie nicht mit einer langen Vorrede aufhalten, weil wir ins Revier wollen und ein großes Programm vor uns haben. Zunächst, damit der Platz frei wird, wollen wir alle Teilnehmer der VGP hier aus dem Hof verdammen, hätte ich beinahe gesagt, rausbringen, damit die ins Feld kommen und ins Revier. Und ich darf Ihnen nun vorstellen, den Richtermann, den Leiter der VGP, Herrn Banke. Ich darf Ihnen vorstellen, Herrn Bauer, den Jugendleiter der HZB. Zunächst darf ich Herrn Bartke bitten, die Gruppeneinteilung bekannt zu geben. Und dann fahren alle VGB-Teilnehmer, einschließlich der Zuschauer, geschlossen an die Stelle, wo Fuchs über Hindernis ist und von dort erfolgt.
Mitrichter Herr Otto Neubert. Ja. Mitrichter Herr Klaus Schütte.
Lass dich gut.
Herr Bauer.
Ich hoffe, dass die VGB als weg sind, dass kein falscher Hund dabei ist. Gruppeneinteilung für die HTB, ich möchte nur begrüßen. Begrüßen alle, mein Name ist Bauer. Viele werden mich vielleicht nicht kennen.
bis jetzt genau aufgeflogen. Eben habe ich ihn mal gesehen.
Jetzt müssen wir den Herrn nochmal da haben.
completed the Hatse Pei portion of the test on the first day on Friday. Simultaneously, the woods work for the Foggy Pei was going on. Dick Austin filmed portions of the woods work, which included retrieve of the fox, blood tracking for the roe deer, and retrieve of rabbits, and the search of the woods. I will use a little bit of Dick Austin.
People got four, even though the dog messed around and did not make a immediate retrieve. The last two dogs have finished. And we have John Bailey here. What do you think the score should be on that one? It's 9. This is the blood track, Willie Hugo. 400 meters on a line. We'll report back and find out what kind of score Willie gets on this. Okay, here we are. It's a long drag track, blood track. 400 meters. So he found it. So now we go back. 400 meters. Doing search in the woods. This is Anton Kindle. And Ancha. We've just finished with the blood track and the drag of the fox. And now we start with the search in the woods. Very nice one. The name of this honor is actually Anton Kindle. The name of the dog is ASJA. This is Johann Schmidt and Alba von Volkshain. caregiver. Good morning. It's afternoon, isn't it? Stottlemyre getting instructions from the other senior judge, and I'm not sure what his name is. We'll find that out later. It's apparently Franz Kroninger. From Franz Kroninger. Yes, from Franz Kroninger. This is Herr Schmidt, and he has one of Franz Kroninger's dogs. Nice puppy. Nice puppy. We're waiting here for Willie to put down the blood track so we can finish. Oh yeah, nice puppy. And this is a litter mate to Alina. And these dogs are about 2.5 years old. Okay, and this is Alf van der Ems. And this is the famous Willie Tugel. Famous, he's very famous. He is the Vom Wuftburg Kennel. Fuchsel, yes. Boss Vom Wuftburg, correct? It's okay. 9? Wuffersel. This is Wuffersel. Yeah. Okay, but his kennel name is, the name of his dogs are Vom Wuftburg.
We don't speak English.
Okay, that's okay. That's fine.
The doctor,
The doctor speaks English. We'll get it straightened out in just a moment. Yeah, get a nice picture of Alpha. This is Income Chemical. ASA from Weinberg. He started out the blood track. And Mr. Turn. Here you are. Now the judges have directed him back. The track on the judges know where the track is. There's that little red dot right there, which is always behind the handle. Okay. There we go. We'll follow behind the judges. And see what I said that. There's the marker. Here's the dog. So the judges are bringing him over. Put him back on the track. I'm not sure what effect that will have on the score. Obviously it will lower the score. Action. Okay. Your name?
Wolfgang Schulz.
Wolfgang Schulz from your town?
From Kiel.
From Kiel.
Yeah.
CP Tiermeier, cameraman of Bavarian.
Ah, good.
Karl Staudenmeier, aus Pool, Ney-Ulm.
Oh, thank you. Danke. Bravo.
The Captain Ade.
Yeah. I'll send this to Hollywood. This goes to Hollywood.
Oh, yes.
Of course. It's Anton Temple. And this is This is you cannot tell. The dog can still only drag retriever, he drags fox, but not from the hair. Should we fail this test, he is eliminated from the test, or rather he cannot pass the test. This is very important. Comes Anton Staudenmeier with the rabbit.
This completed the first day of testing at Rofestel. That evening, the awards were given for the Hatse-Pei dogs, which had completed their testing. The Fage-Pei test would continue on Saturday morning. We will leave here for a few shots of the Friday evening celebrations, and then continue with the testing on Saturday morning. At the testing on Saturday morning will be field work for the utility dogs and completion of their water work.
I just told you what it meant. I forgot. This means that the hunter has shot the game, and he has it. And if you remember, the tune is, I've got it, I've got it, I've shot my game, I've got it, I've got it, I've shot my game, I've got it, I've got it, I've shot my game, I've got it, I've got it. Get those spoons out.
Let's get that beer with him right now. One glass of beer.
Yeah.
You notice that, Harold?
No, but seriously.
Well, he might get up there and do it.
Verehrte Gäste, liebe Griffon-Freunde, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, zum Bayerischen Abend im Rahmen unserer 100-Jahr-Feier seit Bestehen des Griffon-Clubs oder zum Bestehen des Griffon-Clubs darf ich Sie recht herzlich begrüßen. Ich begrüße besonders heute unsere Revierinhaber, nämlich Herrn Dorfler Senior, Junior, ich begrüße besonders Herrn Schütz, stellvertretend für Herrn Dr. Grundler, unseren Hein Guggenberger, der bitte die Grüße übermitteln wird. Und die Herren Rothammer und Ammer. Meine Damen und Herren, Unsere Veranstaltungen könnten wir hier nicht abhalten, wenn wir nicht großzügige Revierinhaber hätten, die uns ganz uneigennützig immer wieder ihre Reviere zur Verfügung stellen. Mein besonderer Dank auch an die Revierinhaber. Frau John Bailey, Frau Bailey ist mit einem großen Freundeskreis, Griffon-Freundeskreis aus Amerika angereist. Herzlichen Gruß allen. Ersparen Sie mir die vielen Namen, es sind 16 an der Zahl. Herzlich willkommen bei uns. Dann darf ich begrüßen die Vertreter des holländischen Griffon-Clubs. Außerdem das traditionelle Bierkrügel für den Zugensieger, für Herrn Martin. Züchterin. Du kannst den Bier ein Jahr, darfst du den aufstellen bei dir und bist verpflichtet bei der nächsten HZB, gleich wo sie ist, ob in Wolferszell oder in Ostfriesland, mit diesem Wanderpreis wieder anzutanzen. Du kriegst dann dafür eine Urkunde und nun gratuliere ich dir ganz herzlich zum Wanderpreis. Meine Damen und Herren, wir haben noch einen Sonderpreis gestiftet, und zwar typisch für die Landschaft, nämlich einen Käse. Und nun darf ich Sie bitten, ganz gemütlich zu werden. Vielleicht
Damen und Herren, jede Prüfung von Jagdhunden, der Stückwerk, wenn nicht immer großzügige Menschen ihre Reviere zur Verfügung stellen würden. Deshalb auch auf diesem Wege ein herzliches Dankeschön an die Revierinhaber und ich darf zunächst zu mir bitten Herrn Wolfgang Dorfner Senior.
Wir haben jetzt hier Herr Thiermeier. Herr Thiermeier, welche Hunde sind die?
Ich weiß, dann kann ich es gut.
Meine Damen und Herren,
Sind die hinten am Wasser, ja?
also ich fahr voran. Hinten gleich mitnehmen.
Down to the last few seconds of this tape, so this is like I'm going to be able to get a whole bunch on this. There is, in fact, a bunch. So, we'll just close this tape off right now.
Komm her. Hier bin ich. Geh ins Wasser. Spring ab. Geh nur ins Wasser. Hier. Geh ins Wasser. Voran und andere Seite. Weiter.
Der Wind wieder gegangen, als wieder die Zeiten kommen. Dann wieder fangen.
langs stijgen, komt in een ijs en rijden, dan gooi je er één los.
Ja.
Sneaking away.
The tree.
I wasn't ready for that. Gun sensitive.
Aus. Look at me. Look at me.
Rita what?
Rita van de Hornerhoeven.
Okay, and she's 7 years old and has had 8 litters, or 7 litters. Maybe. Okay, now tell us your name again.
My name is Jan Redijk.
And from where?
From Heinenoord, Holland.
Holland. Okay, very good. Nice looking dog. Nice coat. I like that.
Ja, zeer nice.
Nice coat. And how are her puppies? Are they good hunters?
Puppies? Yeah.
The
puppies, do they?
So, Roebuck, oh no, it wasn't Roebuck, it was Warren, what were you doing in the corn stalks? Huh?
I lost my dog.
Did you find it? Oh, you were looking for it in there?
This completed the second day of testing with the field work and water work for the Foggy Pay or utility dogs. Saturday evening, we all gathered at the Castle Steinach for the celebration of the 100th year of the Wirehaired pointing Griffon. There were many speeches from members of the Griffon clubs from France, Holland, America, and Germany. Awards were given for the Foggy Pay dogs, and commemorative gifts were exchanged between members of the Griffon clubs. The band played and dancing continued, and as I understand it, the party didn't end till sometime at 3 a.m. Following the Saturday evening festivities, we gathered at the hotel or Castle Steinach in the courtyard area for a confirmation exhibition. At this exhibition, there were some 63 Griffons from all over Germany. The dogs were paraded around a circle in various age groups by sex. There were male and female, 8-year and up dogs, dogs at 8 years of age, 4 years of age, 2 years of age, 1 year's age, etc. At the end of this exhibition of dogs, there was a parading of dogs from several kennels. Dogs of litters of such as the Kemperwald kennel of Maria Zumba. This Sunday ended the official ceremonies of the test, and the final departing shot